በስመ አብ ወወልድ ወመንፈስ ቅዱስ አሐዱ አምላክ። በስመ አብ ወወልድ ወመንፈስ ቅዱስ አሐዱ አምላክ። In the name of the Father and of the Son and the Holy Spirit. አሜን። አቤቱ ፈጣሪና አምላክ ናብዛ ሰዓት ሲያል ካነንም ሲነካለና እግዚአብሔር አምላክ ሆይ እዚህ ህዝብ እዚህ ባርከልና እግዚአብሔር አምላክ ስራህም ባርከልና እግዚአብሔር አምላክ ሆይ ተሰርቆ ወሉ ስራ እና እግዚአብሔር ስራ ተሸገሩ ተሰደዱ نتقبل يومه استناد بسبب القانون الجابر ما نمت يسرح سبب القانون الجابر بارك الله وهنا درسوا برم سرهم بارك زيزوري بارك ما عندنا بارك يوتنا بارك إننا بارك جابر أمنا كوي سلامي أمنا خم وسلام هذا عندنا نزنا سلام هذا بس هذا بتميت أرنا نقول على الزيز جابر أمنا كوي بنات نجاوهم مرحايو جابر سلام هابو هنا درسوا برم تارينا أملاخنا إدمه يبكى أزياء بحالة سنة أكبر كنا جابر مسكانا أخاكم فتارينا أملاخنا نحوارون سرحنا بارك توتنا بارك إننا بارك آمين قدس خامو قدسنا ورد خامو بارك الناس اللي تقدسنا جانينا آمين أو نزوع السمايات نبل أو نزوع السمايات قدسنا كلام السكر ويكون بقالك بكنا السمايات كمحرومات سيشاين درسنا هذا نهاد بينا أبسنا وجينا كمان هني نجيب زعم بسرنا يتابع أن الجوش مسؤول عن لازم إنه ولا عنه كله اسمه دي أكل يجي من كيس عين وصول على المال وسلام عليكم مستودع من الأرض ويتسلم على السلام عليكم وجب الناس اللي بيرسل من جابر تواصل عليكم كل تعامل مع نسقور في قصة كتابة سيد قوم تجان جابر لك سعالي وتقلي لنا مرة أو طول الشيء تصوت كما يسرين هذا وأنت مثلا كنا جابر عبد الله جابر الفقير أما تقولنا يكون آمين. First, I would like to apologize. I am supposed to stay until the end, but unfortunately I have got another appointment at 2 o'clock, and it's very important like this appointment. I mean, to be a priest is a very difficult thing. I would refuse to say I won't come, so I will be going later on. But I was supposed to give the certificate and also to speak, but I will give this to doctor, and he deserves it really because rather than me. But I would like to say 2 words before I go. First of all, I know the job they are doing. Mentoring is the most important thing. I myself, I was a civil servant in the Department of the Environment, responsible for housing. When I was there, the department is very confusing, very complicated. And then I asked the director of the department, I want some kind of orientation. Then he put me somebody very good like doctor, a mentor. I went and I did some mentoring for 3 months. It's not the knowledge. I'm an economist by training. It's not the economics which matters, it is the complication of the department, especially the relationship with a human being and the way people serve. When we serve people, we have to serve equally without discrimination and stigma, because sometimes without knowledge we can discriminate somebody. So I had to know what the procedure is. So they give me good mentoring. So mentoring is the most important thing, especially for people who arrive to this country, new, who have got an African tradition, an African culture. When they come, they are really training them to adapt to this country, to adapt to this life, and it's very important that they are the job they are doing. Dr. Haile is not only a mentor, but he established the community in our church, St. Gabriel Church. In the beginning, in the early, in the 1978, 79, he was one of the committee who established St. Gabriel, which now have developed very well. We have got about 2,000 to 3,000 members. And he is the one who really led at the beginning, and with me and the others, his fellows. So he's done a lot of work for the community. So really, at this time, I've got this opportunity to thank you and really to really appreciate what you're doing. Mentoring is also for us, it is religious. In the Bible, in our faith, Matthew chapter 25, Jesus has gathered people in the last judgment. Some of them on his left side, some of them on the right side. When he gives them a judgment, the people on his right, I was strange, you received me. I was hungry, you fed me. I was thirsty, you gave me drink. I was in prison, you asked me. Therefore, I will allow you to inherit the kingdom of God forever. He gave them that blessing to his right. To the left, he turned his face, said, I was hungry, you didn't feed me. I was strange, you didn't receive me. I was thirsty, you didn't give me drink. I was in prison, you didn't ask me. You are not with me. Then the people asking, when did I see you hungry? When did we see you hungry? When did we see you thirsty? Then he told them, if you do to your brother, to the one in the street, the one to your neighbor, you have done it for me. That's what he said. Therefore, the community, these people, the things they are doing is really God's work. So we appreciate it and we thank you for the job you do, especially when you are guests, when you come as a refugee. Really, it's very difficult, really, to adapt the Western atmosphere, because we were in Africa, we communicate each other, we go to my auntie, we go to our neighbors and so on. In this country, everybody is in his room. Unless you are a daughter or a son, everybody is close. I was at the University of Leeds, and there was an old lady next to me. And I thought, like the Africans, I was happy to say hello to her. Hello, ma'am, how are you? Then she ignored me. Oh my God. Okay then. I just went to my room, and I didn't talk to her for about a year. She comes out, I come out, we don't greet each other. Then one day, she's an old lady, about 75. She carried a lot of shopping, in two hands. I couldn't really pass her. Then I went in front of her. Would you like help? Then she saw me from my foot to the head twice. Oh, okay then. I tried to go, yes please. She said, yes please. Okay. Then I went to her. Okay, I carried her bag and I put her in her house, and then she keeps talking to me. And I said, how are you, George? Are you all right, George? I said, I'm fine. She became friend later on. But their culture, the culture in here is always, it's very close. It's not like Africa. No, so, for a stranger, for a refugee to this country, he wants to talk to somebody, but if people ignore him, that's a disaster. That's psychologically bad, as you know. So, this lady has become my best friend. So, when they know you, they are good. Honestly, I'm not saying they are bad. In fact, in general, when you talk to accept a refugee, to receive all these refugees in this country, is really nice and kind. But they are not that like Africa, you just involve quickly. You know, they are reserved, let's say. So, anyway, by this time, you learn, but for African people like him to accept these people and give them guidance, where to go, what to do, what the culture looks like, and so on. This is really great. So really, may your job, your work be blessed. And thank you. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for everything today. I'm sorry I didn't stay until the end, but please, we now have blessed the food. Now, please take the food and eat the food and start the program. Thank you. Yeah.
Today's mentorship certificate award ceremony. So today we have quite a few things to kind of get through. So we hope you can join us today. I hope you enjoy the food. You can find it at the back. But to start today's program, I'd like to welcome Dr. Jairo Hagos, head of the mentorship mentor support trust.
Our speech will be in English because we have so many non-Tigrayan speakers. So, my role is to present what has happened over the last 6 months about the mentoring program. But before that, I will say something about WHEAT. Not many people know WHEAT. So let me explain what WHEAT is. WHEAT is an acronym, an abbreviation of our service users' needs. Our service users' needs for welfare. This is for those people who cannot work, who cannot go to school because of various reasons. Old age, illness, mothers with children, and so on. They cannot go to school because of all these reasons. But they need to have a welfare issue. So the W stands for the welfare of those people. Of course, everybody, including us, we have a welfare issue. So we deal with that. I will explain how we deal with this. Yes, the health is the health of everybody. That's also common to all of us. Particularly refugees and asylum seekers, as they are new people to the UK, they may not know the system, how the health system works, they don't know. So we provide information, we provide workshops for those who need health, mental health, physical health, all that. This is an issue particularly with refugee and asylum seekers. Mental health is a big issue. We are suffering from stress, from loneliness, from depression, all that. So people need health and health information. I will give you an example. I have been to Birmingham 2 weeks ago to celebrate our mentoring program as well, then also to celebrate St. Mary's celebration. We had a celebration there. One person just talked to me in private, one asylum seeker. He told me, I'm suffering from TV in silence. He's not talking to anyone. There's no one to speak to. He talked to me in Tigray. And I asked him, where do you live? I live in Crewe. Crewe is just a place near Manchester. A small town near Manchester. So what I thought was, it's a good thing that we have mentors everywhere.
Yes.
Don't worry, give me your number. I will call you and I will link you with someone, a mentor in Crewe. But he gave me a wrong number again.
Oh.
That was the trouble. But when I asked the mentor in Crewe, who is part of the WHEAT program, he told me, don't worry. There are only 2 hotels where refugees live in Crewe. So I can go in person. Just give me the name.
Yes.
I gave him the met.
Well, that's
They met. And he linked him with the local health center. Now he's being treated.
yes.
So things like this matter for us. A lot of people suffer in silence because they don't know how the NHS works and so on. Lack of information. Our main role is to provide information in their own language. The E is employment, purely employment. People just come with the need of employment. I don't need anything else but employment. For that, industry will talk to us on how employment in this country works, sharing presence, breaking barriers, who are helping asylum seekers and refugees going into jobs. Social stay in detail. The A is access to further and higher education. This is for young people whose education is disrupted because of war. So they want to go to universities, to colleges. Mr. Theodorus Abraham, he gave a speech last time. He is the one who links refugees with universities.
Yes.
It's called Reconnect. So we brought Reconnect here to explain to our refugees. So that's also one. We have got so many of them accessing universities. You see later on their stories. Universities, we have about 5 of them have got free scholarships from the new ones. 2 of them have got jobs. They finished and they got. So that's the achievement we have done so far. The other thing is training. Training in all aspects, in all fields, in all trades. For example, hairdressing. We have a lot of hairdressers in our. I will give you an example of Kubra. Kubra is a hairdresser. When I met her first, what is your skill? I asked. I am a hairdresser. Wonderful. We have hairdressers in this country. Can I meet you? She could be your mentor. Now she's working as a hairdresser. So this is what we do. Anyone who has got some skills, we ask them to develop that skill. Language learning is one as well. It can be categorized into training. So this is WIT in a nutshell. Objectives is to help young refugees, asylum seekers become employable, get jobs, get education, to do volunteering. Nowadays, if we don't do volunteering, we don't get jobs. As simple as that. So we ask them to do volunteering. To do network with each other. And the immigration issue is one aspect as well. The immigration issue should be sorted out before they even try to do this. Or in the meantime, they can do those until their immigration issue is sorted out. So that's the objective. These are the aims, is to enable Tigrayan refugees or asylum seekers with less or no UK experience to develop their knowledge, their skills and abilities. Reminding, be careful here when you describe that siege for 2 years. We didn't see our family because of the Tigrayan genocide. We couldn't see our families there. We couldn't hear, no telephone, no telecommunication, no nothing, no internet. So we were emotionally disturbed. So for even the asylum seekers are even more disturbed than us. They can't talk their families there. They can't speak someone here. They don't know anyone. They are locked in a hotel alone. Imagine how stressful they can be. So emotional support is one. Educational and employment information. Someone to talk to, that's a human need. Social services information.
There are lots of social services here about housing, health, and everything is in abundance here. Lots of information. Tigray community, TDA, TYN, Sana'a, Mahatar, all this. But if they don't see them, how do they go to them? We have to show them. So that's what we do here. The volunteering, I have said that. Someone to encourage them to, they need someone to encourage them. And also all this housing, health, and so on. They need information on all that. Yeah, okay. What about their goals and long-term aspirations? That are basic needs, but these are goals. Gaining refugee status, it could be an immediate thing, but it is taking a year, 2 years, it's a long term. Education and training at their own levels, this can be also a longer term goal. Employment, including self-employment, some people say we want to set up our own business. That's also one aspect of employment, self-employment. Establishing family, that's an aspiration. Everybody aspires to have that. However, these young people have come from their homes where they have been living comfortably. Maybe they have been thinking to establish their families. Now all that has been disrupted. These are young people on the stage of establishing a family. They cannot do it now. They don't have a home. They don't have jobs. They are not secure for themselves. So establishing a family is not something they can do now. But this is their aspiration. We will help them along that line. We are saying, if refugees work hard here, they will get their jobs, their home, and so on, and they can establish a family. We will help them along that line. The last one, community engagement. This is also natural. Everybody wants to contribute something to their community. They are still doing it. Some asylum seekers are active enough. They come from Manchester to London to demonstrate. Have you ever seen that? Many of them have come, have done it. All the way from Manchester, from Birmingham, and so on. So community engagement is also one aspiration of young people. Next. Okay. The process. I don't want to make you boring. So this is the work we do. We first recruit them. We don't advertise by radio or newspaper or anything. It is word of mouth. One person telling the other person. So that way we bring more mentors and mentees together. Then we do mentoring, then training, and so on. Matching 1-to-1 or 1-to-2. We do supervision, supervising them. We do evaluation, monitoring them, and so on. We do interviews. How are you keeping on? We always say that. I will show you the outcome later on. We always follow them. That's what. And at the end of the day, we celebrate. We are now celebrating by providing certificates. That's the process. Okay. So that's it. Next, the outcome. We do interviews. First, the first round. Round 1, between January to June 2022. That was our first encounter with them. Mentee, ME is mentee. 46 mentees were enrolled in the first round. We interviewed 39 of them. Out of the 46, 39 were interviewed. And they said 74% of them said that either they are volunteering, or they are learning English, or they are taking access courses, or they are studying in universities. They are networking, and therefore they are integrated. 74%. It's not an easy number. In fact, the rest of them say to us, We have got a family, we are busy with our family. That's why we don't do those things. Otherwise, they do everything by themselves as well. So many of them have done that by themselves. They integrate. We try to integrate them. We try to link them, but they are already linked. Very active young people. 80% of the work was done by them. We only do the 20%. In the second round, by that time, we didn't have programs in Manchester, we didn't have one in Birmingham. First round, it was only in London. Second round, round 2, from July to December 2022, Manchester and London were running at the time. So we interviewed those in London. 29, we had 29 mentees. 29 of them were all interviewed. 79% of them said what they have said in the first round. We do volunteering, we do training, we do this, we do that. No, they did 79%. In the third round, at that time Birmingham didn't start, but Manchester had started, but we didn't interview those in Manchester. We did only the London ones. Third round, all the 3 cities are running now, fully. So let me come to the London one. We had 40 mentees, 39 of them were interviewed. 72% of them said what we have said in the first round. We are volunteering, we are doing training, we are taking English language, we are doing access course. So that's what we want them to do. So our goal is no one has to fall through the net, yeah? and become alone doing nothing. That's the last thing we want to see. So we are achieving our goal, all in all. Okay, that's the outcome. The outcome continues. 5 asylum seekers are currently attending universities through free scholarships. Out of the 5, 2 of them have got jobs in their own merits, in their own professions. 12 asylum seekers participated in the University College London Access Course program with the help of Reconnect, which I mentioned earlier, a charity which assists asylum seekers and refugees in their process of requalification and preparation for university education. They need to requalify first. Their degree is not accepted. So, there is an agency who does that process of requalification. Some of them might do degree level, others could be reduced to diploma level. They have to accept that. They have to start from diploma if that meets. Yeah, so these are the achievements. Okay, good. Okay, next. Yes. Networking. In the network we have 44, now 50, around 50 now. WhatsApp groupings. WhatsApp. They are grouped somehow. And 25 of them professionally grouped. We have hairdressers, as I said. We have engineers, water engineers, chemical engineers, civil engineers, separate, mechanical engineers, lawyers, doctors, nurses, based on their 25%. Now we match, even in that grouping, we have old ones and new ones. We have those who have been working in the UK, doctors, we have professors, we have doctors who worked in the UK, who are there to help the new doctors. The nurses who have been here working in the system, they are helping new nurses. Civil aviation workers, 13 of them. one person is mentoring them. One person who works in Heathrow Airport is helping the rest of civil aviation. He's saying, if you get your immigration sorted out, there is always a job to be done in the aviation industry. So everybody is well positioned now to get jobs. Yeah. Now the school year. Possibly, where is David? David, are you there? A partnership now. I mean, we have built a partnership together to support other refugees, less disadvantaged refugees in Sudan. We have 70,000 crossing into the Sudan. So the two of us, David is the chairperson of TYN, Tigray Youth Network. Us and TYN have created a partnership to help this week. Tigray was invaded in all directions, as you remember it, 2 years ago. From all directions. From Eritrea, from southwest, from Amhara region, from old Ethiopian army, with the help of Turkish drones,
United Arab Emirates.
absolutely, from them as well, drones from China, from all developed countries. The cash is also there, the expertise are also there. Only to invade a small region called Tigray. That's why we call it genocide. Over 1 million people have perished within 2 years. Over 250,000 or more, plus 257,000 girls and women have been gang raped within 2 years. Still going on, still there. There are some regions who are not liberated. This part of Tigray, western Tigray, southern Tigray, some parts of northeastern Tigray are still under occupation. So the raping is still continuing. Hunger, by the way. Malnourished hunger. Famine now. Over 2 million are displaced internally and they are hungry. So the famine is still alive. It hasn't gone away still. We are not out of the woods yet. So when people are invaded from all directions, the only thing they can do is to leave their homes, broken homes, and run away from it. In Sudan we have 70,000. And across the world, we don't know how many. In the UK, we have hundreds of them. So far, we have 300 in our register. 300. So that's the reason why TYN and WIT created a partnership to help children in Sudan to, at least for their school meals. If they are young, I don't think they are at school nowadays, but if they are at school, many children leave school because they are hungry. Many children leave school because they are sick. They don't have school materials. So there is nothing we can do, but we have to work together if we can. Now we appeal to you as well to contribute something, but £10. Even £10 will be helpful. We are starting fundraising. Now it will collect now, if someone generates. But there is also an auction. I don't know, Solomon hasn't come yet, but there are some items, artifacts, to make an auction here. If we can stay longer, he might join us. We have also other shops, as David will tell us. So that's what we are doing currently, the two of us. There is another project called GAP, G-A-P, the Girls Alphabet Project. This is also addressing children in the UK or any child outside their country, home country. they have zakat. They speak in a different language where the parent cannot understand. Between the parent and that child, there is a huge gap. And there is a family problem, tension between families. Within the family. It's created because of the language gap. Child speaks English, mother speaks Tigrinya, they don't talk to each other. And they don't understand each other. We are going to close that by providing his alphabet project here. We'll start it soon. We started it before, but it didn't continue. That's our alphabet, you know. Anybody who is not familiar with this alphabet, this is an ancient alphabet. Maybe it might have existed before English. We don't know. We have to make some research. Yeah, it's equivalent to Latin. Yeah, it's an ancient, 2,000 years maybe or more. Still serving. Okay. The last project is the Adigrat City Farm. This is a city farm. It's also timely because people need food to eat. We set this up in 2015. It's still relevant. It's developing now. So we have got this farm, and yes, we have different apple trees. We have 153 trees, apple trees, grown in that one. We have tomato trees. Really, look at this new breed of tomatoes. I have never seen a tree like that, tomato tree. This is my first time. They said it now recently. Yeah, this lettuce is also one
Prickly
One-
pears.
yeah,
Prickly pears.
prickly pear.
Yeah.
Very thorny, but
Yes.
sweet fruit.
Sweet, yeah.
Yes, we have plenty of them. But we use this lettuce and this bamboo tree to keep the soil from erosion. Because there is a big gorge passing through. So we plant all this to keep the soil. But we still get fruit. We still get, the product of this bamboo tree is also important for us. Yeah, now what we wanted to do with the farm is to do value-added products for it. We want to process, semi-process the food. Instead of selling grain, we sell tahani, shuro, and so on. So we will have an open window shops, where we can sell semi-processed food. Lastly, we can also have a cafe. This is our plan. We have got a project already. So our plan is to set up a cafe in the farm site and also to open a window shop. This is our plan. Okay, back to the access course. This was the first 6 students. No, that one. No. Okay. 6 of them have had access course in the University of London. And they mixed very well. This girl has got the job and the university both. She has got the job. She has got the
Amazing.
Amazing. Many of them are going along that line. From the last summer, they got these 6 participated. The other 6, these 3 of them, just only 3 were with me at the time, but 6 of them also participated this summer. The same university. Yeah, they were mingling with their classmates. Oh, back to Najla. We showed it last time. Najla has been with us for the last 20 years. She will tell a brief story.
Yeah.
Brief story. You don't need to come here, but standing there, tell them about your story and the prize you have got.
Oh,
Yes.
hello. 20 years ago in 2003, I was desperate. I was an asylum seeker and I needed help. So I approached Dr. Hailo and Ram, and he supported me practically and emotionally, and he told me about WHEAT. He said you can be a member, you can be a mentee, and we can support you with mentors. I joined as a mentee for 2 times. I needed help twice. And then I felt stronger, I felt better, I learned a lot, I went to courses, I got referrals, I get reference letters from Dr. Hailo, I got a job, and I said, okay, let me pay back. So I became a mentor. And since then, I'm engaged with WHEAT, I'm doing lots of projects, I'm doing lots of partnerships, until I created my own company doing interpreting, translation, and secretarial services into Arabic. And I recently, in 2017, I created a charity called Arabic Educational Trust, and we are still working together with WHEAT. And in January this year, I got an award for long-term achieving volunteer. 20 years.
So that's the value of volunteering. It sticks you together. Yeah. She's doing extremely. You have forgotten what you have achieved so far yourself.
Yeah.
You have got your Abdul-Majid educational.
Education trust,
Yeah, she established that. And she has got Nigela's work.
Yeah.
Operating company.
Yeah.
You are doing extremely well.
Thank you very much.
So much.
Speaking on breaking barriers for human rights. You're all welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I just want to try to make my voice a bit louder.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you for the mentor trust for inviting me on behalf of Breaking Barriers, which I'm going to discuss in brief soon. So before that, just let me introduce myself. So I am a chemist. I'm originally from Ethiopia, and I moved to London in 2019. And I joined Breaking Barriers just after a year, and since then I'm still working there. That's all about me, and I just want to say, I just want to express my appreciation for the diverse type of support you are giving us with trust support group, which I didn't know before. Unfortunately, I used to work at these migrants organized, but I didn't know about WHEAT. This is about I don't want to make it long. So this is about how Breaking Barriers came into life. I will try to keep it short. So, as most of you are familiar, people flee to the UK because of avoiding, to flee from war, flee from violence, persecution, and these days climate is also affecting people to change their, to seek asylum. So, once they are in the UK, the problem is that people may get housing support and other basic necessities, but they are excluded, especially from the economic market. And this is not because they don't have skills or knowledge, as Dr. Hailo said. It's just all about lack of guidance and lack of information. So, and the other thing is that, the state, the UK state doesn't have a very organized, a holistic type of support approach. Of course, there are helps, as I mentioned, in terms of maybe pocket money, trainings, but they don't have a very holistic approach. So, in order to break this gap, Breaking Barriers was founded in 2015. So, in short, why we are here is to support people to get a job, mainly. So we don't do lots of supports like WIT is providing. For instance, we don't support immigration advice. We don't provide mental health, this kind of supports, but we signpost and refer to other organizations. So this is just data that we have. So far we have supported this amount of clients, and as you can see, we have people coming from all over the world. And as you can see here, Eritreans and Ethiopians, one of the big figures that we support. And all sorts of people come, people who got previous education, training, and some people without any education, without any language. So we are welcome with anyone who got refugee status in the UK, plus asylum seeker, but only with the right to work, unfortunately. So we don't work with people who got only asylum seeker, who are asylum seekers, so they need to have the right to work as well. So what are the barriers we aspire to tackle? So one is, as Dr. Haile was mentioning, I'm afraid I'm repeating many things, so it's lack of English. People come with, most of the time, with no English or with only basic level of English. Gaps on the CV. So people may stay because of their paperwork for 10 years. I have clients who stayed 18 years, 12 years, and so on. So this really creates a lot of problem. And the other thing is lack of networks in the job market. If we don't have any idea where to go, how to apply. So this is one of the biggest barriers that prevents us to keep engaging in the economic activity. And the other thing is, the other issue is work experience, especially if in some professions, I don't know, you may have seen that if you don't have a UK experience, nobody will trust you. I have clients who are lawyers in their country of origin, but if they don't show any experience from here, they will never get any job. So it's very difficult for them to prove that they can work in the UK. So the only way to prove that is having a UK work experience. The other issue is limited knowledge of the UK job market. This includes lack of know-how on how to write your CV, how to write your cover letter, and how to sell yourself during interviews. I myself, when I came first and applied to jobs, I used to give just one CV for every job. In Ethiopia, this works very well. You don't need to tailor, you don't need to edit anything. So one CV, you can use it for many years. But in the UK, this doesn't work. Thanks to this job, that's how I learned. So you need to know how to tailor your CV, basically. So this is one problem. The other thing, as Dr. Haile was saying, lack of recognition of overseas qualification. You need to be, in most scenarios, to be re-qualified in the UK. If you come as a doctor, a medical doctor, and if you want to work here, you are not going to be accepted. So you need to re-qualify, or you have to do something to get a recognition or acceptance here. So these are the biggest barriers. And in addition to that, this is just in relation to employment. So a person can come in addition to this with problems, homelessness, mental health issues, and asylum help. So most clients that we deal every day have super complicated problems. So we only focus, unfortunately, on the employment side. So these are the three main support areas that we work. So employment, education, and skills building. So, in terms of employment, we have different programs. So mainly we train people on how to write their CVs, how to write their cover letter, and how to sell themselves during interview. So we do mock interviews, and we have 8 up to 10. It's actually an optional employment foundations courses. So it teaches you all the things that I've said, and one-to-one support. It could be with a volunteer, because we cannot, even if I'm an employment advisor, I cannot advise everyone because I don't know, for instance, how to advise engineers because I'm not an engineer. So we have volunteers who are retired professors, or it could be from any profession, who can provide support to anyone who wanted that. And we also have job opportunities because mainly we work with private companies. So these private companies, for instance, IKEA, banks, legal firms, they provide us jobs. So we help clients to apply for the job. So we help them to write their CVs or to do their interviews, and we liaise on behalf of them. So many people have got jobs with this approach. So this one is employment skills building, mentoring, as Dr. Hailu said, is more or less the same thing. Workshops, mainly skills building workshops. So it could be on any of the areas of employment. It could be how to do interviews, but mainly these are run by our partners. So for instance, IKEA's human resource can give us workshops on any topic that they preferred that can enhance the employability skills of our clients. And sometimes we also facilitate work experience, so they can have an arranged placement for 6 months, and sometimes if they like them, they will give them like a permanent opportunity. So more or less this is how it works. Education, mainly we have English and IT, so it's not like a college, very organized type of classes, so they are like a bit informal, so once in a week, but different levels, so starting from basic to IELTS and advanced, depending on the level. So it can be in person or live, depending on the preference of the client. Also, we have digital skills programs, so those people who want to enhance their IT skills. The same here, the same like here, we have from beginner to advanced level classes. And other supports, we have laptop provisions, but not always, so it depends on the donations that we secure, so we just provide. And funding and training, education and exam. So we have clients to apply to universities, to write their personal statements, to get grants, to get scholarships. So it's more or less the same thing is what you are doing. And here is how we work. So as I mentioned before, the approach of breaking barriers is more, it's like a new breakthrough, because normally charities work mainly with charities, but what they follow is that like breaking barriers mainly working with business entities. So these business entities provide us like job opportunities, skills, and this kind of things to help refugees to get easily into the workforce. So I think this is really working, and yeah, we work under these like associations, and yeah, networks, and we work also with the Home Office, but we don't deal on any immigration issues. So yeah, just to keep my word. So how to access Breaking Barriers services? Just to go to the website and then to fill the inquiry form. Then usually there is a waiting list, and automatically you will be assigned to any of the case workers. But if you mention that specifically you need an interpreter with certain language, you will be assigned to a case worker who speaks that language. Any questions? I have used my time.
Is there any question you can ask to the contestant?
Do you have like a workshop where people can drop in to your center or to get here and people can come any days?
Yeah, we do have workshops, but you need to register as a client before.
So how do you want them to contact you?
Yeah, I mean,
Is it like a direct call or?
Yeah.
No, you need to register yourself,
I understand.
and then you will be contacted.
In fact, should it come through us to you or directly with you?
If they can do it directly,
Yeah.
that's possible, but we also do accept lots of referrals from the job center and from other charities.
Can sign both
So it works,
ways.
yeah.
Thank you.
Any other question? Thank you so much.
And I used to be a UN volunteer, IUNV, International United Nations volunteer. But unfortunately, my wife and my daughter, they were at the mid of the war in Tigray. And she witnessed all the horrible shellings and bombardment in our hometown. So even for myself, it was very difficult because I was away from my hometown as an international staff, and I couldn't concentrate really working my day-to-day activities. So if you remember, during the short time, there was a chance to move people out of Tigray. I had to go back to Addis, and then I brought my daughter and my wife. So we went through very difficult time, even myself, because there was so many things that maybe it may take me a long time to discuss all these details. But I lost my job that I liked very much, but I had to eat for my family. So we are really glad we managed to come here, and then we are safe here. And I usually support my wife. We discussed with Dr. Hailu, because I was thinking I can mentor someone else, because I do have the experience, and my wife can get another mentor. But he said, no, it's good that you are together, and then it's good experience. And he was really right, and he's right, and I supported her because she was also pregnant and she needs more support. And so the manual he shared with us, it's also very important. I would like to appreciate for Dr. Hailu. And I went through all the information in the manual, and in addition to my experience, almost in our day-to-day activity, we discuss and we talk about, okay, I don't want to raise issues related to the war and everything, because she might have some flashbacks of all those horrible things. So I take her to, different places to forget things, and then she improved, because in the first time she had some it was not good, even for myself and for her. But now she's improving and she's planning to continue to her study because she's also taking some online from YouTube some courses related to the profession that she wants to study in the next. And we are also lucky and we are blessed with a new baby just recently. Before 1 year. Thank you.
Who have participated in this program. 33 of them have mentored about 40 mentees. So, Lili Germay, Ruta Agine, Awad Solomon, Sayyid Muhammad, Sabawi Gabrawalt, Alganish Mandesha, Jerusalem Shifarrao, Maqdas Takhlay, Dr. Rahwa Kidana, Tasfa Abadi. Zinaba Abraha, Habus Bush, John Kidana. Yes.
Congratulations.
Yana Aster Adasa, Sarah Ta'ala, Sahaya Takla, Askar Barhane, Salam Balai,
Isfaq. Congratulations.
Hiwat Amara, Tamrat Bakala, Kubra Barhane,
Shukran. Well done. Thank you.
Miki Kasa, Tubra Gide, Salam Zarai, Bet Aragai, Aryam Mahari, Mary Mahari. Okay, these are the names. You have done a great job helping fellow asylum seekers.
Yes, that's brilliant.
Now the mentees, Shishai Habas, Ephraim Mbai, Shumay Ibn, some of them live outside London, that's why.
Yeah.
Barihu Sangha, Frewini Nagash,
Congratulations.
mentee, Edward. Datu, Filimon Tasfai, Misgilna Bisrat, Kidana Gabrasilase, Saha Tasfai, Salam Mullah,
Congratulations. Well done.
can be connected later. Qudus Burhana, Awal, Ahmed Jim, Awal.
Congratulations.
Hello, Sagai. Michaela Asmaha, ማህደር ተክሌ፣ ተመስገን ጸጋይ፣ ሰላም ባየ፣ ሰላማዊት ፀሐዬ፣ ሰላማዊት ፀሐዬ፣ ኢዛና ኃይለሥላሴ፣ ሜሮን አባዲ፣ ዳዊት በላይ፣ መሰረት አሸብር፣ ሚኪ ብርሃነ፣ ሰላም ተስፋዬ።
The circus show and music and auction, as well as our closing remarks. I wanted to take some time to speak a bit more about the joint partnership that we have with Wheat MST. So I should have started off, I introduced myself, but just to get that out of the way. My name is David, and as Dr. Hailu mentioned, I'm currently the chairman of Tigray Youth Network. And we began around 2020, and from our initial stages of just trying to be focused in terms of as a UK-based community of interest, difficulties that Tagaros were facing back home, which started from, if I remember correctly, the locust invasion, where they weren't getting as much government support, where we did our first ever fundraiser over Zoom. Obviously, this was during the pandemic, and then that way, when we come to November, that's when we started to basically change our aims and objectives, and really work on advocating and raising awareness within the UK about what's happening in Tigray. So from that point on, we've kind of been working and trying to develop ourselves and improve our organisation in terms of trying to, improve our advocacy efforts as well as our fundraising efforts. And throughout the last few years, we've worked with lots of other charities and collaborated with them to fundraise and also basically be able to send food and medicine. Which brings us to where we started with Wheat, same initiative. So at the time, we were focused on pretty much in East Sudan and looking to support young children with their school meals. So this goes to school materials as well as providing meals on a regular basis. But as we see the development in Sudan over the past few months, that has kind of slightly changed. The aim is not hasn't completely gone away. We're just having to kind of readjust a little bit, and hopefully when we get to a point in time where things are looking a lot better, we'd like to kind of get back on track and work on those on supplying school materials. But for the meantime, we've spoken with Asman Ashgraf Foundation, AGF, who are there on the ground supporting a lot of these a lot of the displaced Tagaros in Sudan. They've told us to focus our efforts on providing food and medicine because that's some of the most urgent needs at the minute. So along with our partnership, we're basically working towards doing a fundraiser and being able to help and support with that. Whether you follow us on socials or Dr. Hailu's programs and stuff like that, we'll provide more information on ways that everybody can support with that effort, and we just hope, we're very glad to kind of be a part of this because with a lot of the difficulty of getting the West Road to kind of do a lot of this stuff, it's unfortunately, mainly sat within our community to make a difference. So we're just very hopeful to what the future brings. And more future to come soon.
Thank you. Now,
we did an online fundraiser, which I think raised it's either £6,000 towards the Shura IDPs. So basically, it's pretty much within our wheelhouse to do these fundraisers. But yeah.
So they have the experience. They have got already. They have gone a few miles already to do the fundraising to help people, the very needy people, the IDPs who are starving. So they raised about £6,000 to send food items to feed them. That's part of the scheme as well we are doing. We are partner with Asmelash Grant Foundation, who are doing the work on the ground in Sudan to feed the children. And that's what we are doing. If you want to pledge or if you want to help these children in Sudan who are starving, here he is, here I am, just asking you, politely, kindly asking you to donate. the representatives of the mentees. In a second, we'll give you some.
Thank you all for coming. We hope with this Wait and Mentor Trust we get more. We need to be integrated together for coming years. We must do better for future. I hope for coming 6 months we will do better. In this country, for 8 months I am new. I didn't get any information. I only need support to get the right information at the right time. But nobody can give me. That's the real challenge. The risk running for me. I was a medical personnel in my country, but here everything gonna be arranged. So, in order to proceed that, I can't get. You remember, I can't get any information. I was outside. I was in my temporary accommodation near Putan. I can't get access to get the right information. I don't know how can I proceed my education, or I don't know how can I get water for me. That was the real challenge for me. I try my best. I communicate with more people. I do so many. I get so many people. So they try to assess me. They try to advise me like doctor. I meet doctor. So now I'm in the right track. Okay. But for all asylum seekers, for all refugees, the challenge is when they arrive here, they need the right information. They need the real advisor. Let me ask you, doctor, if mentors work formally, if the mentors monitoring their child's, their people's, if they give the right information, the mentee can easily proceed that. Okay? Otherwise, it's gonna be difficult. So it should be structured and networked. If we didn't network it, then everything gonna be difficult. So for coming 6 months, I plan to support. We plan to support and to do more, to do better than ever. So that is my aim. Thank you so much for your help. We will do more things. We need to be structured. We need to be integrated. That is my comment. Thank you so much for coming.
Okay, come to Svai. Philemon. Okay, one last. As he said, they needed some support, some information, but they are going beyond that now. They have volunteered for WIT. They are the ones who organized this event. So please put your hands together.